Starting a stream. Alright. And transition. Let's see if this works. Yeah, we're live. It says we're live. I don't even know if audio is working, to be perfectly honest. Squappy's drone videos. This is Squappy's drone videos. I'm trying to... That. That's actually what I was going to do on my phone, but then my headset... Like, I'm having nothing but freaking audio problems and hiccups today, man. Alright, there we go. I have my headset and... Oh my god. I hear audio. Let's see if I can hear you guys. Alright, it's not playing you guys. Not hearing you guys either. Alright, I'm going to mute myself. Hey, it's a name I made up. That's right. It's Squappies.
Hey, Scrappy's ghost story. Do you realize Scrappy?
Alright, I think I got it. I got it.
Wait. So
has
more
interest
on
everybody
YouTube
can hear
than you do?
Everybody can hear our live stream now? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. We are now live.
Oh, hello everyone out there on the internet. Hi. Okay, I think we're officially, Steven, we're officially live on Scoopy's channel.
And
Oh, alright, there we go. Look at that. Foundation Ariel, what's going on?
Hey! No, you're just going to have to tell us who's in the room because we don't know.
This is Foundation Ariel. His name is Brian. He was supposed to meet me in St. Pete, but he left St. Pete before we can actually meet up and fly. So, we have a couple people on here. I'm in a Discord chat with some folks. It's all good.
Oh, hello.
So everyone say hello. Introduce yourselves.
Hello. I'm Drone Worship.
Scrappy's drone. Okay, there we
go. Well, still looking you up, man.
Bob Biker, 46. Just call me Bob, though.
It's just Bob. There's no hyphen or anything on the end of that.
Yeah, just Bob. Like, what about Bob?
And then an unknown mask, which you guys can't see the mask. We're not
Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't see the mask. They can't see the mask.
She's Ricardo.
I mean, I can make it so the little window shows up. I mean, if you really want me to, but that involves messing with more things.
That involves messing with. Let's just find out as we go.
Ricardo is there. Ricardo. I like that. Ricardo.
Exactly. I'm not the before Ricardo. I'm just a Ricardo.
I'm the Ricardo.
See, you know what? While we're doing this, you know what you guys should do? You guys should
What's
be
that?
in the live stream. All of you. Every single one of you. You know, so far, there's
I don't
2
do
of you in there.
Everybody
Wait,
but
wait,
Dan.
what are you talking about?
Everybody
Well-
but Dan's commented.
What?
Yep.
I have to comment?
Yeah.
I'm driving. You know
You
how
can-
hard it is to drive, text, and live stream? I'm a beast. Watch this multi-talented guy.
Drive, text, live stream, and talk on Discord.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm talking. I feel like a beast.
That's
I'm
right.
multitasking. Oh, I just hit a dog. My bad. My bad.
Look, all right, there he is. There he is.
There's Dan.
See, and then you could let it run, because you know what happens when you let it run? It helps my channel out a lot, and I appreciate that.
Hey, get those watch time up. Oh, wait. So now I'm like double using up my data. I may as well just be on Google Hangouts. I feel you. All right.
So,
I feel you.
Well, you
So
don't have
we're all-
background play? Oh wait, I pay for Google Play Music, so I get YouTube Premium, so I can have background play.
Yeah, yes, I have that too.
See?
And unfortunately, I have to do that to not see commercials. And
That's
that's
right.
the only reason.
See, I
No,
did
wait,
it so I
says
can
only
have
one-
music.
Well, I appreciate the Google Music, but since I've been with Amazon quite a while, I would prefer that I just go with their music thing because it's essentially the same thing now. But the problem is there that if I was to go with them, I would no longer be able to watch YouTube as I can't stand commercials.
Okay,
True.
hold on. Ricardo, Just Bob, and Craig. Let's talk about Unique's new drone. Steven
Oh,
is not here, but Ricardo is. So Ricardo, tell us about the new Unique drone.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good, man.
you know what I could even do? Hold on. I can pull it up. I can pull it up on their website and show it on the live stream.
Okay, let's do that.
I'm going to have to say this. I will tell you this: you're getting a lot for the price, at least without getting a good solid review for $499.99. It seems like a pretty good deal out the door.
What is it? The Unique Mantis, right?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
Mantis
Q. Don't forget that super Q.
my bad. The super Q-tip. Okay.
All right. So let's see. All right.
So read about this thing. Tell your people. Let's find out.
Well, actually, I brought this up on one of my live streams a couple weeks ago. Whenever I think like the day it launched, I just so happened to touch upon it.
I wasn't part of it, so touch upon me in a
Well,
weird manner.
I don't know if I should touch upon you in a weird manner.
or any manner. For that.
Yeah, or any manner. Like, what the hell is going on with my live stream? Like,
Oh my god.
What do you mean? What's going on with it? It looks fine to me.
I can see that Mavic wannabe on there.
yeah, but
Because I can see my.
Oh.
But that's the Q. They're all Mavic wannabe style in the fold.
give me a second. I figured out why it was showing everything in the wrong order. Let's try that again. Look at that. There we go. The rest of the live stream's there. All right.
The bl-
Ricardo is going to keep touching on the fact that every drone now looks like a Mavic.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Now I have to agree. This looks like the Mavic Air
yeah.
Okay.
in a way.
Matter,
In a way.
matter of fact, you could take the whole arm, each arm, and let it fold out into 3 sections before it locked into place, and they still call it a Mavic clone or a Mavic like or whatever.
I'm curious though, because isn't this thing only available in the UK and Europe?
As of right now, I believe that is the case.
Can we scroll down so I can see if that blonde folds up?
The blonde.
Yeah, there's a blonde.
She blurs out in the background.
Oh yeah, she's blurred out. Oh yeah, look at that. It's folded right up nice.
And it's even pointing at her ass. How about that?
Whoa.
Language.
Yeah.
Language. Oh yeah, kid film.
Granted, I'm not monetized.
Her booty.
I'm not
Her
monetized,
booty.
so I mean,
True.
you know, I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah, I don't
Oh, that means I can say whatever I want.
Pretty much, I think that's what it means. You could kind of say whatever you want, but I don't want to lose subscribers.
You know, this is interesting, right? Dan brought this up, and I'm glad we're talking about it. But what's even more interesting is the just I'm not saying that I mean it could be a total piece of garbage, but
Ricardo Papamio, stop talking.
the new SEMA CG033. This is another Mavic like, except its base price with the camera.
What was the
it's
code
only
again?
once CG033.
033 or 35?
No, not SEMA.
No, Aosenma.
Osama or
Okay,
whatever.
so don't you remember that stupid drone that Jade? I can't say his name. Let's just say Gay Bone. Yeah, the Gay Bone was pushing there for a while. The damn Aosenma, whatever it was.
That's a CG035.
Yeah.
This is a 33.
Yeah, that's the 3.3 there. Yeah, that's it. That's another Mavic wannabe.
But this is just now come to light. But look at the pricing. Go to the 1080p camera version. Click on the 1080p.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Trying to scare a deer.
Yeah.
136.
No,
No,
the
173. It's 173.13.
But that,
Okay,
you know, come on. That's like under 200. Have you ever seen a Mac wannabe come in at that price?
But Steven, oh, my bad, Ricardo. have you even tried your Aosenma yet? Your original Aosenma? Do you know how much work that thing is to get it installed, set up the app? Like, you have to install a bunch of firmware. Like, it is the craziest little bird.
I've never, like I said, suppose it. I'm not pushing this thing whatsoever. I'm just saying for the price, you got brushless GPS, Mavic Lite, a 1080p camera, so on and so forth. For under $200, this is unheard of. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
If it is anything like the other Asenma, which I'm assuming it is, they probably put almost the same parts in that stupid thing, just change up the motors and the look a little bit. I'm assuming it's probably running almost the same boards and stuff, just because it would make sense for them to do that instead of manufacturing all new stuff, maybe just a body for it. Then I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably just the most complicated little drone you've ever had to set up. But I don't know, because nobody's reviewed it yet, nobody's tested it, nobody's done anything with it, correct?
I mean, I haven't seen any. This is the first I've seen of this drone.
As far as I can tell.
Me too.
But you know, I'm the king of finding this.
Weird shit. I get weird stuff. I know. Okay. Now tell everyone about your fairy drone dream.
Oh, the fairy drone. Well, I didn't get a chance to discuss what I wanted to discuss because people are now getting them. And although they seem to fly okay, there's some very weird camera things going on with it. But I could contribute that to firmware.
So you think it's glitch in the firmware?
It's possible. Okay, now here's the thing. Here's the reason why I'm obsessed with this damn thing. Is because look at the freaking size of it. Look at all you're getting for the size. That's why I'm obsessed with it. It fits in your hand. It's underweight. You don't even have to register it with the FAA. But yet it's got all the stuff you would get, for instance, with Spark or something like that.
Well,
So this was the same. this was the same hope that we had for the Onago Fly, which ended up tanking. The Onago Fly was supposed to be this awesome device that was going to have a transmitter, and it was going to be the coolest little thing with a 14-minute flight time. And it ended up giving us none of that stuff, which is what Steven's hoping isn't the case with this thing, right?
Yes.
You mean Ricardo?
Because yes, Ricardo. You forget my name, Lucy. But yeah, you're getting a transmitter, an actual a GPS, a follow me, tiny little drone that flies for 16 minutes. Fold out, like, I mean, this thing is smaller than what's the name of that selfie drone, the tiny one that was selling well for a while? The
Spark?
no,
Like
not
the
the
Adobe?
Spark.
Oh.
The Adobe. That thing's smaller than the Spark, actually. But this thing, yeah, the Adobe is actually smaller than the Spark. Yes, yes, sir, it is. And this thing weighs nothing. And the motors are supposed to be 30% quieter than what you'd get, for instance, with a Spark.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna pop into this little bit of a discussion here. By the way, hey dronologist, how are you doing? Got
What's up, dronologist?
How's it going, Bill?
Hey,
got some random folks here in the stream. A drone worship and broken quad. I mean Ricardo and Bob Biker. So we are discussing different drones, and so I'm gonna chime in on this because you guys will fly the toys, the FPV stuff, and everything. I tend not to, especially and drone worship can attest to this. I'm not a fan of flying FPV.
I'm right there with you, man. Don't put me in that same category as Dan and Bob. I'm not an FPV player.
No. So my issue is going to be coming from a photography drone aspect because that's what I fly. This drone, I would want to know how this camera is. Can it even compare to what? I mean, because to be honest, I mean the Sparks camera is actually not half bad for what it is.
And I agree with that. But what are you paying for the Spark? Can you take a little destabilization? Can you take a few little drawbacks for being so incognito your neighbor can't even tell you're flying it?
True.
That's such a debate, though, man. Are we talking about the ferry right now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just found a refurbished Spark for $299.
Yeah, which they're all pretty much going down to the price, even new. However, that's a transmitter. Fly more package or not?
No,
that is no transmitter. It looks like that is not Fly More at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this thing, and I'm not saying that this thing also doesn't fly out as far as the ferry.
Yeah.
It does not. But what I'm saying is, if you could literally go out in your backyard, launch this thing, get some decent footage, get some decent FPV, good enough for you to enjoy yourself without people going, "What is that in here?" I mean, it's gonna look like a fucking bug.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound like.
See, but then the same thing could be said about the Manus Q. Like, at that point, you're with the Manus Q. How much is this right now? It's
the Manus Q is going for $499.99.
$499, and that's pounds, right?
No, this is going to be the American price.
That's the American price, $499.99.
Yeah.
So granted, that's more than the Spark. That's probably that's more than the Fly More, isn't it, for the Spark?
Yes, the Fly More package is like $399 now.
Yeah.
If you buy direct DJI.
Yeah.
But we're all over the place at this point when it comes to what we're talking about exactly.
Well, no, we're really not, because you're just comparing the different selfie drones to what our initial discussion was, the fairy drone versus everything else.
Well, I don't believe the initial discussion was the Q. That's where we started, and I don't believe the fairy drone to me is not in the same category as the Q or the ASEMA. The ASEMA, that was just I was bringing up something they're trying to do similar to these guys.
Hey, Kelly! I just realized you're in here. Hey, Kelly.
Excuse me for a moment. Can we welcome Drone Ranger into the conversation?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey there, Drone Ranger.
I guess
Just to give you a heads up, Drone Ranger, we are live on my channel right now.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, it's Squappy's Drone Videos.
Yeah, just our voices are live.
Yes, just your voices.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we'd want to see the rest of Bob, because we know he's sitting in front of his computer half naked right now.
That's right. Absolutely.
Probably in his tutu.
I got a serious. Yeah, I do. I got a serious question though. What are we all vaping tonight?
All right, so I am vaping a Jewel, and it's cucumber flavored.
Okay.
I'm vaping deep fried bananas.
And I am on livid lime.
And my tank doesn't want to wick, so I'm using my tank as a dripper and randomly taking the tank off and dripping liquid into it.
I've been watching that.
Yeah. My dripper is actually in the other room, and I don't have easy access to it, so.
Gotcha.
My dripper, I use my dripper at night. It just kind of drips down the back of my throat.
You know what? This is perfect. This is perfect right now, because
Mike,
Drone Ranger has had the opportunity to play with the Anafi. Okay, so Mike, give us your impression right now of the Anafi since you've had it.
Drone Ranger, while you're at it, before you do that, in the Discord chat, there you go. You can go ahead and find my channel there, in case you're curious.
That's what I'm working on right this moment.
Hint, hint.
Yeah,
nudge, nudge.
I put some link in there as well.
So you have flown the Anafi, you said.
Sandwiches.
He did, and he also returned one that I know of.
Okay, and that's what I was going to ask. So I want. This is the perfect time to go in depth on this and why he returned it. This is the things that I think people need to hear about the Anafi.
Well, I brought it up. I wasn't letting him get out of it.
All right, hold on. You know what? Just so that way people know, I'm going to pull it up on here.
The first problem is it's made out of plastic.
I was waiting for that.
Would you want it made out of aluminum or something?
Carbon fiber.
So, Drone Worship, weren't you planning on getting one?
I wanted to. Listen, man. I am someone who's financially strapped half the time, so I will ask for these products.
So you wanted to get one for free.
For free. I reached out to the company. I did everything I possibly could in hopes of testing this thing ahead of time. And they were like, absolutely not. And they sent one to Helder Hugo, who's a friend of mine, who has done Parrot products. I don't know if you've watched anything Parrot, you've probably seen a Helder Hugo video. But he had such limited subscribers. He only had like 3,000. Since he started with the Anafi, it's boosted his channel up to like 8,000 subs in like a matter of 2 months. So obviously that was a good decision on their part, and it obviously made a big difference for his channel, which is why I was trying so dramatically to reach out to any Parrot employee I could. I was like, please let me get my hands on this thing. They were like, no, and I was like, all right. So it was worth a shot.
So,
In other words, they only send them free to Europeans.
Yeah, apparently. It probably was closer for them. I don't know. Did Kelly ever get one? Did Kelly at Ready Set Drone ever end up with the Anafi? Did they send one for him?
I think he bought his, to be perfectly honest.
All right, and then I'm sure Dustin has already gotten one for free from the company, and he's tested the heck out of the thing.
Well, he's only halfway. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So I don't want you guys to talk about what I'm going to put in the the Discord chat. Please don't talk about it.
All right. Okay.
Oh boy.
So, Mike, did you find it yet? Because I want to hear all about the Sanofi.
I never lost it. What do you mean?
Do you still have it, or did you return it?
I returned it and I got another one.
Okay.
I
Oh, so you did get another one.
Exchange.
Oh.
So tell us about your first experience.
Yeah, I'm
What were your
curious.
thoughts?
I'll go over the good points first. Then I'll go over the bad points, pros and cons. The Anafi flies well. Great camera. It seems very durable. It's very light. Portability is fantastic. But, you know, as most people have already pointed out, the SD card thing, that's a definitely a con, because that's going to break. Sooner or later, if you mess with that enough, that's going to break. That was a bad way to put the SD card in there.
Where'd they put it?
Ergonomics of it or something? Just weird placement?
It's under the battery, but what they used was a SIM card holder to hold it in place. Several people have already reported this breaking on them, especially out in the field. You slide it up, it's a little metal tab, and it can very easily pop out of place.
One of those stupid things on cell phones. Wow.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That sucks.
Definitely.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it's a great camera, you know, close range, whatever. It's a great bird. But the cons of it is the range is very limited. It's nowhere what I would have expected from Parrot. I would have thought that they would have, you know, tried to up the ante on this, but they didn't.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're flying in within a half a mile or whatever, and that's all you need, then great. But you know, that's not for me. I want better control. Even if I'm not flying that far out, I want better control range within that half mile. And I've definitely lost connection within a half a mile, depending on my terrain or whatnot. So again, they've lost me there. My next biggest gripe is the battery. While it does give decent time, it's only 2,700 milliamps, and Parrot is practically raping people on these at $100 each.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, my Mavic battery don't cost that. The Evo battery, the Evo is $85. It's only 2,700 milliamps because it's considering that fact. Why is it so damn expensive when it's the same milliamp rating as a Hubsan 501S or something? You know,
Yeah,
there's
well,
no
okay.
cost for that.
Let me ask you a question. Is it the hybrid battery again? Is it the lithium polymer mixed with ion? Well, that's how they did the old ones, and I thought that was a very weird design for battery. But maybe that's how they're getting them so light. Like, I don't know, because the Bebop 2 batteries are extremely light for 2,700 mAh. So I was just curious if it's the same factor with this. Are they really light batteries, and are they mixed with polymer mixed with ion?
It's lithium ion polymer. I'm looking
knew
at
it. That's such a strange design. That's the third time they've done that. They did it with the Parrot Bebop 1, the Parrot Bebop 2, and now the Parrot Bebop 3. I don't understand how they're getting that kind of flight time with such a light battery or that kind of power push out of such light. So maybe there is some crazy technology differences going on here, because most of our other drones just run on lithium polymer. They're not mixing hybrid batteries. You know what I mean? So
Well,
it may just be the cost difference. I was super curious about that.
I mean, this just shows. Okay, so I'm looking on Parrot's website right now. It just says high density lipo battery for advanced flight performances.
So I don't understand why they even have. You said it was polymer ion, right? I don't understand why they're putting that on the. Right, lithium ion polymer. So they're not just standard lipo batteries, though. It sounds like they're some kind of hybrid battery of some kind. I don't understand how they're integrating the technology if they're actually doing that. Like, if you weighed one of these batteries, they're extremely light.
Yeah. Well, what's that new battery technology? So, kind of to kind of go off of that. Let's see.
Like the steel battery mixed with steel something. I remember somebody talking about some kind of steel something.
I think it's lithium metal is what they're calling it.
Yeah, lithium metal. There you go, metal, not steel. Sorry.
So Mike, why did you have to return the first one you bought? Let's go back to that before we move too far forward.
Basically, because I wanted to play with it a little bit more. I, do some more testing with it. I honestly do not intend to keep even the second one up, but my 30 days was coming up, so I had to go ahead and return it. But getting to the rest of the cons, let's start with the battery again, USB-C. This battery takes 2.5 hours to charge on a standard 2.5, or on a standard charger. It's only 2,700 milliamps. I mean, USB-C. Now, I was unaware there was a faster charging capability to it, but I watched Drone Valley's channel, and he was talking about using a USB-C PD charger, which increases the charge time on it. I've tried that, and it did almost cut it down in half, an hour and a half to an hour 45 minutes.
Right.
So that's a little better, but still, it's only 27 minutes. So.
Well, then my question is, like, just with the Mavic Air, I mean, isn't that USB-C?
I don't know. I don't own one.
I don't own one either. We're not DJI fans normally.
I know.
I'm sorry, man. I can't do it. I can't. They're so restrictive with everything. I can't do it.
I know. But I mean, okay, so back to really the question that that I'm curious about, just kind of, because I have all the right now I have 4 different drones that I'm flipping through. So, just to start off with, I have the Mavic Air on the screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we all know what that design looks like, right?
Yep.
Okay. So then going to the Mantis Q. If you look at the Mantis Q, I know we've kind of like completely jumped topics here. All related
All
though.
good. Hey, just so you're aware, nobody's watching but us, so you're good.
Sweet. Well, people will watch later, I guess.
There you go.
So so just looking at the Mantis Q just compared to the Mavic Air, because I mean, to be perfectly honest, what are they all trying to compete with right now? Right?
Mavic Pro.
I mean, they're all trying to compete with any DJI drone at this point. But looking at the Mantis Q compared to the Mavic Air, all I'm thinking about is that this Q looks like an unfinished Mavic Air to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
All I'm thinking is DJI fan.
No, I mean, if someone makes a good drone and it's cheap enough to where I can go ahead and buy it, I'm happy.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I honestly, I don't care who makes it. I really don't. But the sad part is, yes, like Drone Worship said, DJI is restrictive. I completely agree. But at the same time, I have a 4K camera on my Phantom 4 Advanced.
But I
And
can do the same thing with my Solo.
I
And
know.
at a higher resolution if I put a GoPro 6 on it.
I know.
And he can fly it to the moon and back, and you'll never
Exactly.
know.
We're already trying to do that.
Solo sucks, man. Mine lands upside
Oh,
down.
get off my face.
Mine freaking lands upside down every time I fly it, man. Solo sucks.
That's not my fault. Stop
Well,
kicking it
my
upside
whole
down,
thing.
man.
So my whole thing, and this has kind of been my whole thing, is that competition breeds creativity.
It does.
And sadly, you know what? 3DR was good competition for DJI. I really, if they were making drones, they're not making drones, and that's the sad part right now. Because I mean, honestly, go ahead.
Just wait for the DW Mini-Me drone. I'm designing my own. It's going to be out soon.
Good.
It'll look like a DeLorean.
That's fine.
Believe it or not. That is awesome, actually. I would take a drone that looks like a DeLorean any day.
That's
I would
right.
fly the hell out of it.
I would.
Nobody would question it. Like, is that a drone? No, it's a DeLorean. Awesome. Then you get all your plane footage.
And it'll go like a DeLorean.
But
and then back to the...
so the whole thing I find though is that you have DJI is restrictive, but at this point, I mean, sadly they own the market right now, so they have the ability to be restrictive right now until Parrot or Unique or hell, let's just say 3DR if they decide to jump back into the drone market, or Autel. I forgot about Autel. Why am I forgetting about Autel?
Because they're a tanking company.
That's true. I think
because they're robotics like 3DR, and that's just the way it goes about companies that know what they're doing. They charge a little bit more, and they can't reap the benefits because they know what they're doing.
Okay, so wait. Let me tell you the drone worship dream, okay? And we're currently working on this project. I call this Project Mini. You're going to love this. Sit tight. Steven knows a little... Oh, Ricardo knows a little bit about it. Okay, so about a month ago, I decided to start a project that I called Project Mini. And the idea behind this project is that the On a Go Fly, which was an Indiegogo campaign that failed, actually had almost the same internals on this very tiny selfie drone, almost identical to what the Solo has in a larger body frame. So what we decided to do is crack one of these On a Go Flies open. Thanks to Brian, True Drone Reviews, if you're paying attention, thank you for sending us the On a Go Fly. We have cracked this thing open, and we found out that it runs on APM 2.0 open source, which is the identical software that the Solo runs on. The only thing different is that we would have to add an IMX6 board and then install Solex firmware to it. So we would have to initially scrap the entire firmware setup that's on it and reboot it for Solo setup, okay, running on the IM6 platform. But what's cool about this is now you have a 3DR Solo in the palm of your hand, capable of the identical things of the actual 3DR Solo, but in a much smaller package. So what we talked to Chris about, MD95 TSI was going to print us very tiny 3DR Solo handheld bodies. And we were going to take the On a Go Fly insides and shove them inside these very small bodies, these 3DR Solo bodies that we were going to create. We were going to make handheld 3DR Solos, but running on 4K platform with optical avoidance, sonar sensor, and optical flow. And I thought that was going to be the absolute cat's meow. And so we're still working on this project. And I got to tell you, man, we're making some leaps and bounds thanks to John Brotherton and a few other dudes. If this pans out, it would be the most advanced selfie drone to ever hit the market to date.
So it already has a
coolest
camera
thing
built
you've
in?
ever seen. Yes, plus obstacle avoidance and all the other stuff, thanks to On a Go Fly. The difference was the On a Go Fly team had no idea how to run open source APM boards. They had no clue what they were doing. Their development team was just complete crap. Because since we got a hold of it, we've been working miracles with this thing. So this has been our project for a while. This has been something that we've all decided to take on as a personal task. We're building a build reference sheet for it. We're typing out everything that you'll have to do to make the change, or you would be able to purchase one from us for a set price to be determined by the group of guys that build it. But imagine getting a 14, 15-minute flight time, same thing as the original Solo, but in a handheld package that looks like a micro Solo in the palm of your hand. All the same features, follow me, but adding in obstacle avoidance, sonar, sensor, all the fun stuff, plus a 4K camera with stabilized footage.
So here's my concern. This is just because we're not in China. You're gonna keep it looking similar to the 3DR Solo.
Yes.
You can't, because then you're gonna have 3DR breathing down your back.
So here's the thing. 3DR gave up on the project. They signed all the rights over to Philip Rose, who doesn't care. Philip already said that he doesn't care what anybody does as long as they don't ask for the coding for anything. So basically, 3DR just said they don't give a damn what happens with 3DR Solo from this point on. Pardon my French. So they don't care if you steal their copyright. They don't care if you steal their whatever, as long as the open sourceware stays in the hands of Philip. So if Philip's going to release anything to us in regards to coding, we would have to go through him to do that. Okay, and then we'd have to talk to Kelly, who designed Solex app, to make all the switch over, and Matt Lawrence, we'd have to talk to him as well to get the whole switch over for the IMX6 board. But if it happens, 3DR Solo doesn't care. It could care less. But we want to make a folding pocket version of this thing. So we want to have the folding blades, kind of like the S6, right? How they just kind of square up. And then we would have folding bottom legs. You wouldn't need a camera or gimbal because it's already got it built into the front of the system. So essentially, it would just be a really cool setup with an internal battery. So you'd have to charge it by plugging into the back of it. No Molex connector. We could probably set a speed charger to it, so it would charge pretty fast, I would think, if we had to. But I mean, this whole setup could be the most advanced selfie drone ever.
I did have a question for you though.
Go ahead.
Who is ultimately responsible for this on a go fly appearing with and having the idea
and having the what?
He cut out. There he goes.
He cut out or something.
I said, who is ultimately responsible for this on a go fly appearing in Brian's hands and the idea coming out of nowhere?
Actually, I want to say that was Steven. Oh, Ricardo. Ricardo was actually the idea.
So then here lies my other question too, in relation to what I posed earlier. So on a go fly, that company, or the company that makes it, it just doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't exist anymore. They're done. They sold up. Actually, I think most of their stock got liquidated by banks and stuff and took over. So I think it was a failed Indiegogo campaign. Technically, they weren't even a company. They were a starter company trying to start up and just completely failed horribly, miserably.
So then, any patents, copyrights, or anything like that?
It's all common boards and stuff. All stuff used for open sourceware.
Okay.
So essentially, we could just order the parts if we wanted to from the companies that do the distributing.
However, there is, I can't remember the name of, what's the name of that company that sells a bunch on Amazon, that rebadged the Bugs 3 anthropology.
Force One?
Yeah. Do you remember the second version on the Go Fly? There's a version 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, we ended up with the version 1, I think.
Yes. Version 2 is like a Fly Plus or something.
Right, it was a little more advanced.
Force One's still selling that under their name.
I'm guessing they're rebranded though. I'm guessing they were purchased and rebranded.
Yeah. I was just mentioning it.
But it doesn't matter to me because we're not holding true to the original Onago setup. Like if we were hosting the Onago as a drone worship or whatever, that would be different. But we've actually designed our own 3D printed bodies, which actually, I think the finished product will be molding cast. I don't even think we're going to do 3D printed. I think we'll do molding cast bodies with carbon fiber molding cast kits. And like I said, man, I'm talking like completely untapped, just like the 3DR Solo. But what's cool is you'd be able to use your 3DR Solo transmitter to operate it because it would have an IM6 board. So you would essentially be able to just pair it right up to your Solo transmitter, fly it the exact same way without having to hook up another transmitter, and you could still run it through 2.4, which is the same thing the Solo runs on, and you would probably get about the same distance, maybe a little less, but probably around the same. I know that thanks to Ricardo, we have a fairly good idea of what's under the hood of this thing now, and it's quite surprising how much technology the Onigo really had in it. So, and so closely matches what was in the Solo, just in a much smaller package. So it's very cool, very unique stuff, man. It's fun to dabble with it.
Well, so when you guys would be putting this together, I mean, would you be using just the same kind of motors and everything like that,
Yeah.
or
everything straight from the Onigo Fly build? We would just be parting it out and adding a few different things to the board, and then we'd have to erase it and reprogram the boards a little bit for Solo use. But yeah, it would be, honestly, from what John is saying, it would be fairly simple from this point. He's almost done connecting the IMX6 board to it. And once that happens, then we'll be able to send it off to Kelly to find out exactly how hard it's going to be able to write in the parameters for Solex and understand how we're going to get the optical flow working. So he's got there's still probably a couple months in advancement there that he's going to have to work out. But imagine this. Imagine being able to buy not just a selfie drone capable of 15-minute flights, but still be able to get the same distance as the original Solo, 1-2 miles out, and be able to run stuff like sight scan, advanced follow me features, everything, orbit, pano mode, all this stuff that even the Evo, the Alta Evo, the DJI products just aren't doing, man. Imagine being able to buy this little Solo and have it do sight scan with a FLIR setup. If you really wanted to, you'd be able to change the camera out for a FLIR setup. So, I mean, it would just be leaps and bounds advanced in anything in that market. It would be not just a big aerial platform bird setup. It would have the same features, but it would also be able to do selfie drone stuff as well.
And just to add in there, the One Plus, the original only comes in white. The One Plus only comes in black. So
Black,
you know which one you're looking at.
I think we had the white one. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what they are. That's the original white one. They were selling them for I believe 68, 69 bucks on Amazon. Somebody got a bunch of them, and
yeah, it's only available from one person on Amazon now. I pulled it up, and they want $400 for it.
Yeah, they sold the crap out of them when somebody apparently got a hold of a bunch of them. So like the One Plus only comes in black. So if it says One Plus and they're showing a white picture, it's not the right thing. So on a Go Fly, the original it comes in white.
Yeah, it's saying One Plus. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's baloney.
Like
if
it's
in white, it's One Plus. It's baloney.
What we would be offering people is the ability to send us your Onigo Fly, and by the time we're done, we would build you this amazing selfie drone. You know what I'm saying? And then you would just have to pay properly to the right people, and it would get tested pretty extensively before it gets sent back to the person.
If you look at my stream, you need to check out this site then. If that's what you plan on doing, saying, send me your Onigo Fly.
Sure.
OnigoLies.
OnigoLies.com.
I've been there.
What's it about, man? Tell me about it.
So basically, it's I guess it's a group of people that are trying to either get basically using this website as a resource to get help in either cancellation, refund, or replacement of the drone.
Or sue the shit out of them, basically.
Yes. That's what it sounds like. But at the same time, I mean, they do have an email address, and it could be something that you could message the person and be like, "Hey, this is what we're trying to do," and see if they want to try doing something about it on this site. Granted, I don't know how popular this site is at this point, so
I would have to check it out. But yeah, I mean, we've already gotten a hold of 2 of them now at this point, so
yeah.
we've already started the teardown process and installation of other parts.
Well,
We've been at this now for close to 3 months.
we know the original prep, but we also know that it has the hardware for potential that
oh yeah,
the creators just didn't know what they were doing, essentially.
exactly. Totally had no clue how much actually technology was there to mess with. Like they had a really, I'm gonna be honest with you, Craig, they had a really good design, man. The design was solid. They just didn't have people behind the structuring of the firmware or the parameter setups that even had a clue what they were doing.
Yeah.
It just flew so wonky, man. It just had so many problems. Like even the GPS that was in it was really satisfactory setup, man. It was not just running U.S. satellites, but also had GLONASS. Like the thing was picking up almost 20 satellites. It was crazy. They had such good performance parts in it. They just didn't have a good team to design the what operates it basically, your parameters and flight controller. All of it was just so screwy. No, it has potential still, a lot of potential. That's the same thing that happened with 3DR Solo though. When the team released 3DR Solo, it sucked. It was horrible. The guys that originally designed the firmware and stuff had no idea what they were doing, and that's when Philip got brought onto the project and then completely revamped it. And but it was already too late. The Solo was tanking by the time it got its revamp.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate. But and then hey, it made all the Solos completely available for everyone else, and they made 80,000 of them. So I got 2.
And I'm still seeing Solos pop up on Facebook Marketplace and everything like that.
Yeah, cheap.
Well, they're varying in price. I've seen some people who don't know what they have and they're selling it for cheap. I've seen some people that think that it's they honestly.
Still $1,000.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are the people that you're saying that they don't know what they have? Do they include a gimbal with it?
No. Most of the time, no.
Then they know what they had.
Alright, so I've seen a lot of packages now, 3DR Solo packages going for around 300 to 350 with camera and gimbal in my area. So apparently people have reached this point with the Solo where, and don't get me wrong, I'm gonna admit this 100%. There's a reason I stopped pushing the Solo on people, because it is a DIY platform now, and that's all it is. It's never gonna be anything more. It's for advanced pilots at this point that want to have some fun, understand how to change flight parameters, and build your own firmware and as well as parts. And I happen to like that challenge. I enjoy it, and it's definitely been a lot of fun for me. But I can't keep pushing a drone that isn't affordable anymore, because by the time you've bought a 3DR Solo, you've spent $230. Then you bought a gimbal, which is now priced out close to $200 to $300. I've even seen them at $400. Then you still got to buy a GoPro, another $100. I mean, by that time you may as well bought a Mavic Air or you know what I'm saying, a Spark or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something that's going to be easy to put in the air and just have fun with. Whereas the Solo is a DIY project for more advanced pilots that want to really dabble with open source and take it, to a whole different level, which is why I still mess with it. I have a great time with it. That's why we did the third party and the DIY battery and the gimbal and the,
I just found a 3DR Solo for $250 with gimbal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people see what's happened though, is that
They're
people are
starting to realize it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're starting to realize that there's no batteries. All the batteries are from 2015. There's no availability of parts anymore. Like, unless you buy a wrecked one. Like, and all that stuff is great for me, because I'll just keep buying cheap Solos.
Yeah.
I'll just keep putting them aside and just keep messing with them. Like it's perfect for me. I don't care. I'm having a great time buying all these cheap Solos. So I don't know. They're such a great bird. I can't get rid of it.
Well, has anybody heard about those new drones made out of hemp plastic?
I have not.
The new what?
The new drone's made out of hemp plastic.
Oh, that's interesting. No, I have not.
Mm-mm.
Well, I hadn't either, but I thought it was trendy, so I figured I'd say it.
Okay. hashtag weed drone.
3DR. Okay, so this is in Tampa. Actually, this is Sarasota. 3DR Solo drone backpack case, 5 batteries, and a gimbal. $300.
That's what I was telling you. Like they're just these people are just think that the whole company's tanked. There's no way they're getting parts anymore. They're just selling off for what they can get for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, that's how she got her Solo for like $80. It was crazy.
Yeah, but then I see somebody else that puts it, $650 for basically the same package.
Right. Yeah, those are the people that just don't know. They still think they're going to get a whole bunch of money out of
And
it.
that's exactly what I meant.
Yeah, so they fail to realize that people are going to research things. Like, I don't think anybody buys anything now without at least researching a little bit. So when they look
You would be
Hold on.
wrong.
1,000.
Okay, all right, well, look.
I found one for
you have to understand.
$1,100.
Yes. These are people that still. Here's my issue with this, and this is a major frustration of mine, is that I have all these people in the 3DR Solo groups that have owned their Solo for 4 years now since it came out, and they just continually bitch and about the price and. Man, you don't understand. I paid $2,300 for my drone when it came out. I want at least half of that back, And I'm like, well, that's too bad, man. You invested in a company that tanked. It turned out to be a great drone in the end, but dude, I don't know what to tell you. So some of these people, they're still trying to sell their drones for, at least half of what they paid for a couple of years ago. And I'm just like, you're not gonna get it. I don't know why. Like, look, you took a loss, man.
Mm-hmm.
Take it at face value. Get rid of it for what you can. Nobody's gonna buy it for $1,000. You're out of your mind. They would rather buy a DJI Phantom 4.
It's like buying a Acer computer,
Mhm.
like a $300 Acer desktop, and expect to get $250 out of it because you see somebody getting $800 from a $1,200 Apple. It doesn't work that way.
Well,
It just doesn't work that way.
I do have to say, so just kind of speaking of that, my buddy who's in North Carolina, I was talking to him today, and there's a surplus sale at the university that's up in my old hometown, and I was talking to him. I was like, hey, do you want to go by the surplus sale? He's like, yeah, I'll go by there. He was off today. He goes by. He picked up 2 iMacs and a laptop and probably spent about $210.
Really?
Yeah. So, in kind of talking about money and everything like that, going to those people that are like, oh, well, I spent this much money on this and I want at least half, sadly, it doesn't work that way. Yeah.
I want half, Eddie. I want half, Eddie.
I want half Eddie. Give me half Eddie.
Yeah, and you see that with a lot of things. I mean, and actually, and Apple products are one of the biggest things that you see that a lot with. If you look at any third-party resale place, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, anything like this, I paid $2,500 for this. I expect to get $1,800 for it. It's 6 years old though.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, people are crazy. This is the reason I don't buy drones when they're brand new. Like when they first come out, I'm like, I'll just wait till the price comes down because I know I'm not getting my money back. It's just gonna be blown money.
Yeah.
It's like I can just wait a little while and then I'll buy it. Look how long it took me to buy the Bebop 2. Now I got 2 of them because one was given to me and we bought the other one. But I mean, look how long it really officially took me to get the Bebop 2.
This sort of goes in on that car thing.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier.
People do it with cars too. Same exact thing.
Yeah.
At least with a car, if it is one of those really sought after models, yeah, it may tank in value, but then, once it hits the classic car limit and everything, it might
rarity market.
Yeah. Then it might go back up in value, but that's a huge might.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I legitimately can say I have an action figure of one of my drones. How many of you guys can say that? I legit have a licensed action figure of a 3D Arcilla.
That's cool.
That is cool, right?
Yeah.
Boom. DJI doesn't have that.
I mean, I have a Batwing drone.
0.1 for soda.
I still
What's
have my
up, boss?
I still have my my FPV drone thing here that I got from Ken Heron.
Oh, the one that crashed and you flew in the hurricane?
Yeah, it still works.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've actually
Hey.
been curious, as people say this stuff from time to time. I've actually been curious if I could just like print out anything, and just as long as I could stabilize the guts, would it work? Like for instance, if I made something like I had like a SEMA X20, right? I pulled all
Talking
the
about your 3D printer?
and I pulled all the crap from it, and I made like a bat wing thing, shaped like a bat wing, and fit everything, and it could actually hold the weight. See, that's the thing. I've looked at all these shapes and sizes of different deals of drones, and I've got to say to myself, there's a point where I said to myself, you could make a fucking flying block, and it would
Yes.
fly flying as long as you put the electronics in it to work.
And as long as you're able to balance it out and everything, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And as long as you're able to watch your language and everything, you know?
Yeah.
Well, he said he wasn't paid. It's not a paid channel. He
It's
already
not.
admitted it.
Not yet. It's eventually gonna, hopefully, if I can get to that extent.
Not to mention it says there's two watching. I don't even think two of the people that are supposed to be there talking are still watching. How do you like that?
So, it's funny you mentioned the 3D printed thing, putting drone guts into some 3D printed thing. So, in Drone Worship, I think I sent you the link on this the other day. The Favic, so they took the Mavic.
Yeah, you know what? I've known about that forever, and have you looked into that like a lot? Like, have
No.
you really like paid attention to what people have been saying?
That that it's heavier, that it has reduced flight time. That's about all I got.
Not only that, not only that. Like, people are saying after they did it, 3/4 of the sensors the thing had just didn't work properly. Like, it was like 30% out of 70% were working properly after the modification.
See, and then
people were peeved.
But then I've seen people that do that modification to the standard, which doesn't have all it has is a compass.
Right, all the sensors.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it works fine.
Yeah.
Like,
But you have to modify it to get it to work with it.
Right. Well, and I get that, but that's with the other one too. But because all the sensors came on the advanced, which is what they originally built the Favic body for, was the advanced. Like, I swear to you, I think the numbers were like 30-70. Like 30% of the people got it to work properly, the other 70 got screwed by it.
Yeah.
You know, and then all the people that were, you're right, everybody that was doing the standard setup said they weren't having problems. Well, that's because you don't have the sensors to test
I don't even understand. Like, if I think you're talking about what I think you're talking about.
Do you have my stream up right now?
Yes.
All right.
Are you referring to where they take a Phantom's guts and turn to a Mavic?
Essentially, yes.
No, sir. That's like you're just wasting your fucking time. I'm serious.
Exactly. Well,
this is what I'm talking about.
Some people got good results. Some people didn't. It seemed to only be the advanced Phantom 3 advanced pilots that were really experiencing a lot.
Okay, I heard what Scoppy's buddy, what he said earlier, and about what you had. Don't do it, man. Do not do it. Do not do it.
Well, see,
Get it out of your mind.
no, I'm not. I don't plan on doing it. I don't have a Phantom 3 anymore anyway. But this, the reason why I brought this up is that you mentioned the 3D printing anything, balancing it out and everything. That's what I mean. Essentially, that's what this is. Someone 3D printed the body and gave him some,
Yeah,
dimension. And that's the thing. I don't even believe it's necessarily balancing, right? Because I believe for a fact, as long as it is within the weight range, I could print a block, like a block, right? And then strip apart like a little CMAX 20 and glue, hot glue, like Dan loves to use the hot glue all the parts to the size of this plastic block, and then put the board on the bottom, and then fly, and it's gonna fly just as good as the X20 did prior. I don't think it has to do with the shape. I think that's just they're doing the shape because that's what they're used to. Somebody created that shape to begin with, and it's just the shape. When you have 4 props, you can pretty much shape it like a dildo, and it's gonna fly. It's gonna fly. As long as your weight's proper, it's gonna fly. It's gonna do all the same things.
Well, what I mean by balancing is making sure that the arms are in a decent length apart from each other to where they're not interfering with each other, and that it can actually still lift properly, lift evenly.
Well, yeah, that's why I said a block, just like a one that says A, B, side, like you give a little kid. You could literally put motors on each side, as long as you know they can lift it and fly it properly. It doesn't take aerodynamics when you're coming up with more than. Matter of fact, that's the reason why they have a 2-prop system on the plane, because the 2-prop system on the plane, it takes you. So imagine adding 4. You could fly something that looks like a swiggle, like a twirl, and fly. That's
I mean, so essentially, you're saying add some props to this thing.
Yeah, like a turd, like a hard dog turd on the ground. You could literally, if you get them to stick, it'd fly it around.
You cracked me up.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to end the stream part of this. I want to continue this conversation afterwards. So,
well, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you for joining in. I have links for everybody's channels in the description down below. Like I said, we'll continue this off camera. But anyways,
except for Ricardo, right? No Ricardo's link. Trust me, don't do it.
So I'm gonna put up the outro. Bye, everyone.
Later.
Hey,